This is David Olshan of Nevada Legal Services. This is another in our series of substantive law videos. This one concerns bankruptcy and government obligations. We're going to talk about taxes and other government obligations if they're discharged in a bankruptcy and several other issues regarding government debt. So the first thing you need to know that your debt that is discharged in a bankruptcy is not taxable. If you have a Social Security, unemployment, or welfare overpayment, you can discharge that in a bankruptcy, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, except when you commit fraud or a court has determined that you committed fraud. Criminal fines and restitution, they're not dischargeable, generally speaking. Civil fines and penalties are dischargeable in a Chapter 13, like parking tickets, but not in a Chapter 7. If you want to discuss this further, talk to your attorney or contact us at Nevada Legal Services. Property taxes are discharged in a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13, but the lien remains. So that's hard for some people to understand, but the security interest survives the bankruptcy. The taxes do not. So if you don't pay those taxes, the government can foreclose on your home, but you are not personally responsible for it. SBA loans are dischargeable in a bankruptcy. College fees, as opposed to student debt, college fees are dischargeable. Student loans are not, unless you get a court order after an adversary proceeding. Employer retained taxes, if you have a business and you're retaining taxes, that debt is not dischargeable in a bankruptcy. To avoid personal tax liability in a bankruptcy, your tax debt has to qualify, and to qualify, the debt has to be created more than 3 years ago based on a tax return filed more than 2 years ago, and the IRS must have assessed the tax more than 240 days prior to the filing of your bankruptcy. So that's commonly called the 3-2-1 rule. Also, you must not have committed tax fraud or willful evasion, but if those characteristics, the 3-2-1 applies, the tax debt was created more than 3 years ago on a tax return filed 2 years ago, and the IRS assessed the tax more than 240 days ago, it will be discharged in a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13. The example I give, you worked in 2016, filed your tax return April 15th, 2017. You owed $500 in taxes that the IRS assessed in 2019. That tax debt would be discharged in a bankruptcy. If you have further questions, again, please contact us at Nevada Legal Services. We can help you discharge your personal tax liability. This rule is complicated. For instance, sometimes the IRS will file what's known as an SFR, substitute for return. If the IRS does file that, then you are not filing it, so this rule wouldn't apply and the taxes wouldn't be discharged. There's also something known as equitable tolling. If you're hiding out, waiting for those time periods to expire, you wouldn't be able to discharge your taxes. So also, if you're challenging the taxes with the IRS, you can do that. And if you are challenging it, then that time is tolled, it's stopped. So the 3 years will get longer given the amount of time you're challenging the tax debt or the time that you're hiding out. If you have an IRS tax lien, which means it's a secured interest, you will have more trouble discharging the lien, extinguishing the lien. You will discharge the debt, but the lien will remain. And you can negotiate with the IRS. You should wait about 60 days after your discharge, get a transcript to see, a tax transcript to see how much of the debt has been discharged, and then contact the IRS. They will work with you. They do understand bankruptcy law, and they do understand if you don't have equity in your home, the IRS, the tax lien isn't going to be effective. So many times they will release the lien and allow the tax debt to be discharged, so you will owe the government zero. We are Nevada Legal Services, and we can help you with your bankruptcy and to discharge your tax debt or other government obligation. Please call us in Southern Nevada, 866-432-0404. In Northern Nevada, 800-323-8666. We provide free legal assistance and I will be back for more substantive bankruptcy videos in the near future.